number items as well.
Mr. Betteroff.
Thank you, Judge.
Honestly, go fuck yourself, sir. You don't say that, okay? You don't lose a trial where a jury acquits someone and finds overwhelmingly not guilty and say, I gave my sincere obligation to look into this, and I'm telling you all I saw when she's guilty. Again, respectfully, go fuck yourself.
Swear again like that. That was, you know, no, I mean, whatever. That was, I shouldn't have done that.
A few moments later.
You, as a prosecutor, have got to be out of your fucking mind.
Nose.
Dude, Jimmy, look at those ears.
The ears don't bother me as much.
No, I don't trust a man. I don't trust a man with a lobe like that. No,
really,
not a fucking chance.
The mouth is butthole to me.
Very thin, paper thin.
The nose.
Oh, the nose.
The brows.
Well, listen, I will tell you though, I kind of like a fucked up nose on a guy.
I like a big old honker. I like a big nose.
Big old nose. Give me that big bitch. You know?
Yeah,
like, I'm into it.
Come over here, cluck cluck.
Yeah.
I see some chickens that went moving all up in my biz, cluck cluck. Running, you gotta be with the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, kids.
And I go, oop, clutch, clench, kegel. We did it all. And I go, oh, and what happened? And they go, well, we just got 4,000 plus pages, bitch. And I said, stop it. Show me it. Take me to Unimpound Town immediately, if not sooner. So what happens?
The bitch is here.
Why are you at a football game? Are you a Fonz correspondent?
Well, no, because it's only for men over 30. Okay? Have a great night, boys. Fuck off.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Hey, Blues Clues, motherfucker.
Hello, loveys. How are we? Today is a Saturday. It is August 30th. Woo! Where has the summer gone? I don't know. Okay. But we are here together for an impromptu stream scream today because I'm in my feelings. I'm feeling all the feelings and I'm apologizing for being late, but my children needed food. They do that frequently, especially on long weekends. And they, of course, come downstairs and they're like, hi, Mom. I need this. I need this. I need this. Mr. Nurse Kim, he needs things. I go, oh, cool. No worries. Just give me 5 more minutes, please, for the love of God. So today I am just again, in my feelings, because this morning I watched Jess Machado's show and she did a follow-up on Kylie Montero and the Bethesda House, which is an absolute nightmare to any of our loveys that don't know. We're going to know. Okay. And I'm going to play something from her show last week, and it's pretty intense. There were some moms that called in that had been at the Bethesda House and their experiences, as well as then in the afternoon, I'm going where? Grocery shopping, because my life is, I'm going to know, loveys, that I have really made it in life. If there's ever a time in which I am not at the grocery store, minimum 3 times a week. Okay. If I could get everything in one shot, I'd be living my truth. But there's always more. There's always like, oh, I forgot this. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, we're having this for supper and I'm weird and I don't like produce to be whatever. Neither here nor there. But I'm at the whatever. I'm at the supermarket and I am watching Melanie's show and she's going over this Kelsey Fitzsimmons situation out of North Andover. And North Andover is just a hop, skip, and a jump from like Merrimack Valley. It is actually Merrimack Valley. It's just Essex County instead of like, Lowell, Drake, Chelmsford, whatevs. So close to me. And I don't think I knew the case, although I had seen like updates from her and shows from Melanie. I didn't know really what I didn't know. And it also like brought me back to Lindsay Clancy. And I just wanted to have like a strong women's stream. Okay. And a strong women's stream doesn't mean that that my 7 male fans are not allowed, because I'm obsessed with you. If Maza's here, I'm obsessed. Hi, Maza. Oh, Maza's here. And if Will sometimes shows up to my house, if Will is here, hi, Will, love you. And to any of the boys, like the other 5 boys that watch me, hi, babes, join us. But this one's for the girls. Okay. This one is Shania Twain. Let's go, girls. And we're going to kick down a fucking wall or 2. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there has been fuckery afoot in the Commonwealth, as usual. And it has presented in cases that we know by heart. Karen Reed had a mental health crisis on January 29th, 2022. She was transported by ambulance to Good Samaritan Hospital, and she was evaluated. She was not, detained. She was not arrested. And yet her medical diagnoses and her lab values were used against her in a court of law. Luckily, we know the ending of Karen's second trial. But the mental toll that has taken is profound, not only on herself, but her family as well. And also the O'Keefe family. Then I think about Sandra Birchmore, say her name, and her unborn baby, and a police force that allowed what they allowed to have happen at that Explorers program for years. And then Sandra grows up, and because she was groomed in that program, the relationships that she believed she had made that were very unhealthy went into her adulthood. And now she is not here, allegedly at the hands of Matthew Farwell. And I just don't think that there is enough that is discussed about postpartum depression, anxiety, and we're all touched, babe. Like if you're here and you're with me, let's be perfectly clear. 1 in 2 of us in the United States has a mental health diagnosis. I'm going to say if you're here with me, it's probably 1 in 1. Okay? If you're my people, you get it. If you get it, you get it. If you know, you know. If you're spinning on the rings of Saturn, if you're anxious and you feel like you have a elephant sitting on your chest, like sometimes, and you do a loop in your head about like all the things that you need to do, and especially as women and as mothers and as providers, because we also are working outside the home. Maybe you have a little fucking FaceTiming with your best friends from out of town, and you do all of the things for all of the people, and you love to do that. Like you're like, oh my God, I love to be and to help, and like that's my calling. Like I'm a nurse because I'm called to like be there and to help others in really difficult times in their life. But sometimes we do not call on others when we need help. Like, because you think, oh, I'm supposed to just like, I'm on autopilot, or like, I have to just get everything done all the time. And I want you to know that you are not odd, and it is not weird. And when you're feeling fucked up, that people are here for you, and that they're like our resources, and there's no shame in having that moment and saying, I can't do it really by myself right now. And it feels very vulnerable, and it feels like you shouldn't have to. And I don't know if that's older. I hope that our younger generation, like my girls, are so good at talking about their feelings. They're so good, babes. Like they are like, I feel this about this. And like, it was never, you were meant to be seen and not heard. Like I think our generation was when we were growing up, but it is just something I want to address and let you know what is available. I'm so sorry. I don't know everything like about anything. Who am I shitting? She don't know shit about shit. But I do know Massachusetts resources. I do know best team phone numbers. I do know resources for us to call if we need something so that tragedy doesn't happen. And not just tragedy, babes. Sometimes when you say, oh, like I need a minute, or I'm out of my tits, or I need a grippy sock vacation, take it. Take it. That's okay. Recalibrate, and then you are back. Do you know what I'm saying? There is nothing that is weak about that. That shows your strength. Okay. I love you. And that is it. Now, this is going to be kind of like, I'm going to talk about specific things. This will get a little bit like, we're going to go a little sad. Not sad, but education today, okay? I'm not going to go into depth of every case. I'm just going to talk about where the failings were and what we can do to have different outcomes, okay? Does that make sense? All right. Okay, Maddie Wags. All right, yes. And Kelly says, stop, collaborate, and listen. Oh, you are the smartest and the prettiest. Thank you, Kelly. And absolutely, Southeast Sally knows grippy socks are noise. Okay, they are the noisest. And if you can take them, I'd take an extra pair or two. Okay, no shame. All right, babes. So we're hiding. Now we're hiding that, and I'm putting this up. Add. Okay. Now, this is about the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. And on Thursday, she was represented by Tim Bradel. Oh my gosh, dapper, handsome, everything. He's a king. And a North Andover officer was shot by a colleague at home, and she will be allowed release. Thank you, Jesus. Now let's watch a little video of Mr. Bradel because I like it, because he brings me joy. Shut up. Okay, I love it. Oh, and the zoo will also make us happy. Oh, we have to watch an ad. I'm sorry, babes. Oh, maybe I should get a Boston 10. How do I move past that? We'll just pull up some of these. Oh, I hate them too, babe. Oh, sorry.
Face the judge today. Kelsey Fitzsimmons was initially charged with assault with intent to murder and 2 counts of assault with a dangerous weapon. But a grand jury came back with just 1 charge, assault with a dangerous weapon. NBC 10's law enforcement reporter Robert Goulston is on it. He joins us live from outside Essex Superior Court in Salem. Robert.
Glenn, yes, this North Andover police officer entered a plea of not guilty, and then a judge did find her a danger to the community. However, the judge is going to release her with some very, very specific conditions.
How do you plead to this indictment, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty.
North Andover officer Kelsey Fitzsimmons appeared in court for a second arraignment. Grand jury indicted her on a lesser charge than she initially faced. Fitzsimmons was shot during an armed confrontation with fellow officers who were serving her with a court-ordered restraining order in June. Police say Fitzsimmons showed a weapon.
The theory of the government's case here was that Kelsey intended to murder a cop, which is outrageous and completely ridiculous.
Stems from a restraining order taken out by her fiance soon after their child was born. He wrote in court documents, "I strongly believe Ms. Fitzsimmons will cause physical harm and emotional harm to our child," and said he was assaulted. Fitzsimmons was suffering from postpartum depression, according to her attorney.
This is a woman who was suffering from an affliction who, based on words on a piece of paper, had 3 policemen come to her house and take her 5-month-old baby.
And based on
my God,
her deceiving the officers when they asked her where the guns were, the Commonwealth believes that she is and is still a danger to the community.
The judge ruled Fitzsimmons is a danger, but agreed to release her to her parents with 24/7 home confinement and no contact with her child.
Are you amenable to do that?
Postpartum depression is a transient condition. That's gone. She's fine. She needs her baby back.
And there are a list of other conditions, including being on a GPS. She should be able to be released tomorrow. Right now, she is being held without bail until they get all these conditions met. We are live tonight in Salem. Law enforcement reporter Robert Goulston, NBC 10 Boston.
The North Andover officer who was shot by a
oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, loveys. Oh, gosh darn. Okay, hi, sorry. I was telling you how much I loved you, and then I said we were going to read this article together. I cannot imagine what it was like for Kelsey being in court on Thursday and like saying, yes, okay, great, I'm allowed to be released, but I can't have contact with my baby. Oh, I'm sorry. I have some fucking shit to talk, and I'm gonna need to loudly, because hashtag can't stop won't stop, and it's not okay in my opinion. So it said the off-duty police officer shot at her home by a fellow North Andover, Massachusetts officer in June appeared on Thursday, where a judge outlined the conditions under which she can be released on bail. Kelsey Fitzsimmons can be released into the custody of her parents while the case against her plays out in Essex Superior Court, the judge ruled. Following her indictment this week on a single count of assault by means of a dangerous weapon. She had initially been arraigned in Lawrence District Court on charges of armed assault with intent to murder and 2 counts of assault with a dangerous weapon, which she pled not guilty. Fitzsimmons entered a plea of not guilty before a judge found her to be a danger to the community, but the judge is allowing her to be released to her parents with some very specific conditions. Fitzsimmons was shot during an armed confrontation with fellow officers who were serving her with a court-ordered restraining order. Police said Fitzsimmons showed a weapon, but she and her lawyers have pushed back. Quote, the theory of the government's case here is that Kelsey intended to murder a cop, which is outrageous and completely ridiculous, said one of her attorneys, Tim Bearded Bradle. Tim Dapper Dude Bradle. My God, he looks good. The incident stems from a restraining order taken out by her fiance, who wrote in court documents, I quote, strongly believe Miss Fitzsimmons will cause physical and emotional harm to our child. Oh. The fiance also told the court he was assaulted. Fitzsimmons says his client is suffering from postpartum. Oh, well, that's not right. It must have been Bradle. Says his client is suffering from postpartum, a temporary condition This is a woman who was suffering from an affliction, and based on words on a piece of paper, had 3 policemen come to her house and take her 5-month-old baby. Also, loveys, if you do not know or you're not aware, you or anybody you know who is in crisis can call or text 988 in Massachusetts and beyond. It's nationwide. And that would also be a resource for you if you couldn't reach out to a friend or you didn't feel comfortable with reaching out to your family. Fitzsimmons also shared a statement saying that she never has alleged, pointed a gun at other officers as they served a court order to take away her child. She claimed that body camera footage would show she's being, quote, wrongly accused of pointing her gun at the officer, while saying she did pull the trigger while pointing a gun at her own head after passing her child to a colleague. Can you imagine, babes? Take a moment. Can you imagine what she must have been feeling and so out of control in that moment that you had given your baby to a police officer and said, I'm all set. If you're taking my kid, that's a wrap for me. I can't. Grand jury's review of prosecutors' allegations and decide whether or not the evidence is enough to bring charges. She's been held without bail since her initial arraignment. The district attorney's office asked Fitzsimmons to be held. Judge Kathleen McCarthy Neiman, I'm going to have to look you up, Lady Jane, because this is fucked. Ruled Fitzsimmons is a danger, but agreed to release her to her mother and stepfather with 24-hour home confinement and no contact with her child. She is due back in court on October 7th. Police initially shared some details about the shooting, but not many beyond the specifics of what happened in the armed confrontation. But a statement of facts submitted to Lawrence District Court has said that Fitzsimmons' fiance had sought and was granted an abuse prevention order out of Essex Probate Family Court after she allegedly assaulted him the weekend before the shooting, causing him to fear her and also fear that she would hurt their 4-month-old child if he were to leave her. Fitzsimmons had allegedly assaulted her fiance in the past as well. Okay. Hi, come close. So I heard through the grapevine on Melanie's show that Kelsey's fiance is a firefighter. He's an Andover or North Andover firefighter. And I'm going to tell you something. Bad relationships are real. Okay? And Kelsey, from one woman to another, seek refuge, my queen. And if you are getting into matches with a man and you are really struggling with depression or you're having a hard time and you're triggered perhaps by him, if it's happened, it didn't say it was just that one time. It says like it has happened in the past as well. I would maybe, and I'm not judgy because you got to do whatever you've got to do, but your safety, Kelsey, is the most important. And your baby's safety is the most important. And if you are getting into, if you're tussling with this fiance, maybe he's not the one. Okay. And that's okay. And you can co-parent and you can do whatever you want to do that is going to have your beautiful baby have a great life. But you don't have to do it in a house where you are not okay or not comfortable. And if you're escalating that far, that's not good for anyone. And I think that it was it's terrifying that he went to probate court, said that he was, which they have to do it. It's ex parte. It's emergency, guys. So this will always happen. If you say that somebody has hurt you, you're going to get an emergency order, period. Do I think that he was able to get that by, I mean, I don't know what documentation he had. I don't know if he was able to provide like physical, like if he took pictures of himself, if he had any marks on him, if she admitted it in text messages. I do not know what I do not know, but he was granted it. And after is where this goes off the rails, in my opinion. Okay? Now, police were at her Phillips Brook Road home that night to serve Fitzsimmons with the restraining order and inform her that her fiance was obtaining court-ordered custody of their child. As Fitzsimmons was gathering her infant's belongings, including diapers and clothes, she went up to the second floor of the house, escorted by 2 officers. When she learned her fiance had arrived to collect his belongings, oh, we're going to let him in the house too at the same time? Poor choice. Poor choice, 5-0. Oh, God. She asked one of the officers to keep her fiance away from her rather. So that officer went downstairs, leaving Fitzsimmons with one other officer. The documents show. A lieutenant who was on the first floor at the time of the incident said in an interview on July 2nd, he heard an officer who was upstairs yell, "Kelsey, don't do it. Don't do it," followed by 2 gunshots, according to the court documents. Officers immediately began administering aid to Fitzsimmons. While medics were treating her, the officer who shot Fitzsimmons told the lieutenant that prior to the shooting, Fitzsimmons had pointed the firearm at her, which was when he shot her. He shot her in the chest. He shot her in her chest. Her colleague, someone she knew, someone she trusted. And I'm going to tell you this, babes. When I'm reading here, Kelsey, don't do it. Kelsey, don't do it. That sounds to me like Kelsey, don't do it to you. If somebody had pointed a gun at an officer, now these are people that, loveys, even if you have no law enforcement background, what would you hear a police officer say? Stop, drop the weapon, drop your weapon. Right? Show me your hands. Not don't do it. Fuck you. No offense. Sorry. This gets me welled up. Okay. Then it said in another interview on July 3rd, the officer who had went downstairs just before Fitzsimmons was shot said that she had told police that all of her firearms were locked up and in a safe in the basement. He said moments after she went downstairs, he heard the officer who was upstairs scream, "Kelsey," followed by the 2 gunshots. He immediately ran upstairs, saw Fitzsimmons lying on the ground, and asked the other officer what happened. That officer stated Fitzsimmons pointed her firearm at him, pulling the trigger, and then racked a round of ammunition, according to the court documents. The officer who shot Fitzsimmons was also interviewed on the 2nd, which is at the time he provided a statement that was similar to the other officer. Oh, really? Oh, they had the same story? Cool. You think? According to the officer, Fitzsimmons was packing clothes and books for her child, kneeling on the ground, folding laundry in her bedroom while he was standing in the doorway. The officer told detectives that he saw Fitzsimmons, quote, face towards him, lunge towards an area behind the door, and then reappear, pointing a firearm directly at him. He said Fitzsimmons pulled the trigger, and then he heard the firearm click, but no round was fired. Well, that was God. That was God. And it was God because if I believe that Kelsey held it to herself, I do not believe that Kelsey pointed her firearm at anyone else. And that was God saving her, in my opinion. And if you don't believe that, Levies, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. According to the documents, the officer told detectives that Fitzsimmons then began to stand up, and as he pulled his firearm out of his holster, Fitzsimmons then began to rack the firearm chamber around and gave several commands such as, quote, drop the gun and don't do it. Okay. He said at this point, he knew Fitzsimmons was trying, quote, trying to kill him. He then fired one round at Fitzsimmons and Fitzsimmons continued trying to chamber a round. So he fired a second, striking her. In her statement, Fitzsimmons shared a different set of facts. My firearm was never pointed in any direction other than at my temple. When I pulled the trigger, my gun did not fire. However, I immediately got shot in the chest by my colleague and friend. Fitzsimmons wrote on July 17th. Hold on, loveys. Sorry. Oh, fix your face. Oh, dumbass. Okay. She got shot in my chest by my colleague and friend, Fitzsimmons wrote on July 17th. She also noted being open about a diagnosis of postpartum depression, which her lawyer discussed in a previous statement, in which he suggested the police could have responded differently as the confrontation unfolded. Fitzsimmons was on leave at time of the incident. Fitzsimmons is expected to be released as early as tomorrow after probation confirms. So I hope she got released on Friday. As long as all of the conditions are met, she remains on the North Andover Police Department and on administrative leave while these charges are investigated. There was no body cam levies, which, like, how is it the year of our Lord 2025 in the most expensive, like ranked number 1 Massachusetts, right? The most expensive state to live in the country. And we don't have body worn cameras on all departments. North Andover, you ritzy bitches. North Andover, okay, is like Princess Diana. And like North Andover, I don't know what North Andover is, but it's definitely like a duchess of something, a Duchess of York, if that makes sense. It's very ritzy. So with that being said, to me, there is so much to unpack here. But the fact that 3 police officers went to her house, babes. They went to her house and they served her this and took her child. There was no DCYF or whatever we call it now. It used to be, no, it's the Department of Health and Human Services Family. It used to be DSS back in the olden days, and New Hampshire is DCYF. But like nobody was there from a de-escalation team, and that doesn't make sense to me because she had her baby, and if there was concerns from the court to give this emergency order, you should have had a social worker. You should have had Department of Health and Human Services, and there should have been someone that was trained in what we call in Massachusetts, it's CIT, okay? And let me like read to you what that is, because you'll be like, shut up. You'll be like, Cam. And I'll be like, yes. So CIT is the Crisis Intervention Team Program. And in many communities, there are lack of mental health crisis services, and it has resulted in an increased role of law enforcement as first responders. That is true. That is true. And the Crisis Intervention Team, CIT programs, are designed to improve police response to mental health crises, to help individuals with mental health and substance use conditions access behavioral health services rather than enter the criminal justice system, and promote safety for the individuals and police officers. It was a program developed in 1988, but it really kind of got kicking in about 2007. Specifically, I remember for the Merrimack Valley, for all of us, since 2007, we've had these officers on every single police force. So it is designed to promote collaboration among law enforcement, mental health and substance use professional advocates, and people with lived experience. So we have like volunteers, right? That are like, hey, how you doing, boo? I know what I'm doing here. And their families. The key components include accessible crisis system, 40-hour training and curriculum for law enforcement and other first responders, and behavioral health staff training and direct participation by people with lived experience. And Massachusetts Crisis Intervention Teams, the Mass Department of Mental Health, DMH, has provided a grant for funding for all local police-based jail diversion programs, including CIT programs since 2007. Knew it. I knew it. DMH recommends that police departments provide CIT training to at least 20% of their patrol and command personnel, and that the training is voluntary. DMH also recommends that CIT trained personnel be available on each shift. Well, that's what we need to know. Who was the CIT on for that shift? I haven't called, so I can't say that I know this, but I'm just talking to us because I know that North Andover has it. Why? Because I was a visiting nurse. I still do it every other weekend. Shut up. But I used to go to North Andover. And how many times? Methuen, Haverhill, Lawrence, Lowell, Chelmsford, Billerica. That's my territory. All the way out to Amesbury. It was a shitty territory, but I did it forever. And I have had to request assistance when a patient of mine was having a crisis. When someone is decompensating and I can't get you to do it for me, right? And if I'm concerned that you are a risk to yourself or others, I'm a mandated reporter. So I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be there to talk you off the ledge. Literally, figuratively, everything. And I know that I have in North Andover, I know a patient. I'm thinking, do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I know this. So I'm going to get that info. Then for another part of Massachusetts specifically, we have what's called, at my job for where I work, we have what's called the BEST team. And the BEST team is the best, okay? That is our behavioral mental health program, right? And there is a BMC specific community behavioral health program, and they have a BEST team that can come out and help and assess patients that are in the community. And there is a phone number that I wanted to give. I'm going to put it in the video too afterwards, lovies, but the phone number for anyone in Massachusetts, if you have Mass Health, if you have, Commonwealth Care Alliance, if you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you have no insurance, okay? If you are going to go to BMC, or that would be the hospital that they would be taking you to, you can use the best, and you could use it for any of our, even CHA. It's a great program. And this is 1-800-981-4357. Again, it's 800-981-4357. And they are just able to come out and provide an assessment for you and determine if you need to go to an emergency room, if you are going to need whatever it is, that if they need to help you, they'll go from the beginning to the end. So they'll make sure you get a bed if you need to go inpatient, right? If it ends up being that you're a 72-hour hold, voluntary, involuntary, or if you are going to need additional length of treatment, they would be there to help. Okay. And they can actually do a 14-bed short-term community crisis stabilization too. Oh, Marie's Place. Marie's Place is also a crisis. It's a CRU crisis. I mean, a CSU rather, a crisis stabilization unit. And they can refer you for ongoing treatment. So those are just a couple of options, and always 988 if you need help. But what really threw me over the top for this specific case was, I'm wondering, Melanie mentioned that there was an incident with a woman who was pregnant, who had postpartum, when Kelsey and the person who shot her were responding to a call last year. Kelsey's pregnant at this time, lovies. Now picture it, okay? Picture this. She is responding to a call with her co-partner, her co-pilot, her partner, and a woman who has a child ends up taking her own life. Okay? There's nothing you can do. She doesn't try to hurt you, but she ends her own life. And I'm wondering, I'm sure that the situation that the officer who pulled the trigger on Kelsey he was in crisis because he had trauma and he has PTSD from an event that happened a year before. But at the same time, can you imagine what Kelsey's body went through seeing that? When you are pregnant with your own baby. And now you have your pals, guys that you've worked on the force with, are coming and you hand over your baby and you're struggling. You probably haven't slept. You're jamming with your fiance. You're trying to feed her. And all you're trying to do is keep it together for another day. It's just so sad. And I think that, I have specific feelings towards it because I definitely had only the baby blues after I had Liv, my youngest, because I was just so tired. I had had Mia 10 months before. So I had Mia in February of 2010, and then I had Livy in December. And Mia was an angel. Mia was a baby that, oh my gosh, she slept through the night right when she got home. And God gave me the hubris to think that it was me. It was I am parenting like a queen right now. If this is what being a parent is, sign me up. I'll take a dozen. Give me 14 of them. I would wake her. You don't ever wake a sleeping baby. I'm waking a sleeping baby to feed her because she was just like a godsend. Then I am pregnant. I am pregnant at my 6-week checkup. Don't judge me. One time I let him in. That's all it takes. Okay. Pull out game. Thought there. It was not there. One Bud Light, it happens. Okay. So anywho, I have Olivia, and Liv does not sleep. She is up all night long. So I have a baby that is up all day. Well, she took naps too, but like all day, a regular schedule. And then I had a nighttime. I had a night shift baby. And I used to work Baylor at a facility. And so I would do 7A to 7P on the weekends. And I was home Monday through Friday. And Mr. Nurse Kim was traveling for work because we were so young. I was 24, he was 25, and I was just like trying to like do life. And I remember going to the doctors like I think it was her 4-month shots for livers. And I was like a zombie, babes. I was such a zombie. And I didn't have help because my mom works and my dad couldn't help. And then Mr. Nurse Kim's parents are not with us. So we didn't have any family to support or to help. So it was like, I felt like it was all on me, and I felt like I was failing. And, it just, I got through it, and it is a transient thing. Like, I do believe that Tim Brady, Bubbles, no. I do believe it can resolve, and it always will, but you need to not consider that your weakness, because it's not. And I didn't ask for help until like I almost had like a little bit of I kind of had a little bit of a break just at my house. I just called my mom crying one Saturday, and I was like, I can't go to work because I hadn't slept. And I was like, Ma, I don't think I can drive to work. I was like, I think I have to call out. And I never called out. But I was like, I think I have to call out because I don't know if I'm going to make it. And I didn't want to like hurt myself or hurt anybody else if I fell asleep when I was driving to my job. And my mom was like, she was like, stay right there. Are you okay? And I was like, and then I just like started crying, and she came over, and I think I slept. Lovey's not even joking. I think I slept for like, I don't know, maybe 20 hours. Like once I put my body and I knew that the girls were okay, I just closed my eyes, and like I woke up like the next day and I was just like, oh, it was a rough time. So those are just, I don't know why I went on that tangent, and I'm really sorry, but like I wonder what the physical ramifications and the PTSD that both of those officers at your job must have underwent when you walked in and had a trauma while Kelsey is pregnant with her baby. And then what did it do when he walked into the scene and is seeing like, I think I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending, like, did he think that something terrible was going to happen to Kelsey? I don't know. And what did they do in the North Andover Police Department to help debrief those officers? Because they deserved to have, after you have specific trauma and significant terrible outcomes, when we have bad outcomes, especially if it ends in expired patients or community members, those are things that you need to be able to work through. And I want to know what they did for those officers. Oh, Kim McDonald says it's truth, and we're here for that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening, Kim. I'm sorry for just thought process there. Oh, and Gwen says I had no sleep for 12 days straight a while back. Gwen, hi. It's your best friend from out of town. Can't not have sleep for that long. Okay. You gotta reach out, and you gotta be able to close your eyes, because that is not only bad for your mental health, but like your cardiovascular system, our nervous system, everything is affected. And I mean, this is coming from someone who literally sleeps like 4 hours a night. I'm terrible with it. I do have to ask attorney Melanie Little. She told me she was going to tell me what she gets something off of Amazon, but I tried a new Calm product, and it's really good. It's magnesium citrate, maybe. Hold on, let me grab it. We need to sleep though, babes. Found it. I'm coming. Non-sponsored, just from the CVS. Magnesium supplement. It's called Calm. And let's see what magnesium. Magnesium carbonate, citric acid. Okay, nobody cares. But what is this? What is it saying it's doing for us? Directions. Feel the power of calm. Stress isn't always a bad thing, so don't run from it. Oh, shut up. Stress can be balanced and transformed. This is why we formulated Natural Vitality Calm, a magnesium supplement to support a balanced mood and healthy response to stress. Add this delicious raspberry lemon flavor, and you can be ready for whatever's next. Fizz, sip, chill. Feel the power of calm. I think it is helping. I think it is helping me do just relaxing. I take it before bed. I don't take it every day, but I take it like every other day. But what kind is it? It's just magnesium carbonate? I think I'm supposed to be taking something else. Because there's like many different kinds, like magnesium citrate, magnesium, I don't know, but there's a ton of different ones. But if you want to try it, give it a whirl. And it helps with, all right, never mind. But it helps with getting regular, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Ooh, magnesium glycinate. Yes, that is great. And magnesium relaxes you. Thank you, Be Kinder Than Necessary. Perfect. Oh, and then someone said, magnesium is also good for the heart. It saved your life. I got to know. I love that. Thank you for sharing with me. Perfect. Thank you, Jody. Oh, and Z edibles. There we go. And then Wake Up America and Resist. Hi, Tom, says Rick Simpson. Oil is great stuff. There we go. We're just oiling. We're everything. And it's good for the bones in our heart too. I love that. Topical magnesium on my autistic 5-year-old. Be Kinder Than Necessary. Thank you so much for sharing. Literally, magnesium, we're so deficient. Isn't that crazy? I think it's like our diets, our minerals. We really should, because we're very aware of our electrolytes, right? Our sodiums, our potassiums, our chlorides, but magnesium is too, but still, we really should be watching and monitoring our magnesium levels more closely. I feel like I don't know when the last time my magnesium was checked, but that's it. So this is it, guys. Sorry, just in case you ever wanted it. I do feel like I got it maybe 2 weeks ago. And like I said, I've been doing it every other night. So there we go. You're very welcome, Gwen. So then here we go. We're going down, and that I'm so glad to hear that Kelsey was absolutely, as she should have been, able to be released, although it is not appropriate, in my opinion, that they put 24-hour, stipulations on her that she has to be monitored by her parents. But what a win for Essex County. What a great job by that grand jury, as they're saying, oh, she was charged with intent to unalive, to murder her colleague when she was the one who was shot. Do I live in another dimension? This is what takes me to Funky Town, guys, because this is not how it should be happening. We should not be failing women. We should not be failing mothers who need help. And that segues me into our next story, who I have covered. And it is a very difficult case, but I'm very kind of enthralled in what this case is. Okay, I'm getting that. Go there. Then we have done that. Now I'm going to share. Split the screen here, guys. Thank you for your patience with me. She's a nut. Okay. The next one is Lindsay Clancy. And I saw a lot of similarities to me between the thank God that there was not a family annihilation or children harmed in the Kelsey case, but it's a professional. It's a Massachusetts police officer versus Lindsay Clancy, who was a Massachusetts nurse, an OBGYN nurse, okay? A maternity hospital nurse who was suffering with what? A professional, who had over a decade of practice under her belt. She was beloved by the nurses in her unit and at her hospital. And she suffered from postpartum. And her defense is going to be that she went into a postpartum psychosis from depression. And this was Patrick Clancy was her husband. And he spoke about his children and wife in an interview in the New Yorker last October. This was back in January of 2023 that Duxbury mother and nurse Lindsay Clancy had an unthinkable tragedy occur. So this was a father whose wife unalived their 3 young children in Duxbury, Massachusetts. Home has reflected on the tragedy, criminal trial in an interview in the New Yorker that mark his most extensive public comments. Patrick Clancy told the article's author he wanted the interview, which was published on Monday, to push back against lies and misinformation that swirled amid the intense interest around Lindsay Clancy's murder trial. She pled not guilty to murder charges brought by the Norfolk District Attorney's Office over the January 24th, 2023 deaths of their children, 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan. Oh, it's going to do an ad, Loveys. I'm
Doesn't
so
our chicken
sorry.
just taste better? Well, they are raised better. And it doesn't stop there. Recyclable trays.
Let me pull up your
just rolled it
comments.
out. Sweet. Feed them antibiotics. Our chickens don't need them.
What about bedtime stories?
That is what they said,
Tonight,
dear.
a community coming together, paying tribute to the loss
Postpartum.
of some of their youngest residents. It's been exactly 1 year since devastation overtook Duxbury.
Oh.
This video is from the night 3 young children.
Let me pull that up.
family.
A real solemn occasion. Our Kirsten Glavin is there in Duxbury tonight with more. Kirsten.
But a number of people showed up to support both the family and first responders whose lives were forever changed this time last year. Despite a rainy Wednesday night, people in Duxbury walking past a luminary and coming together at Holy Family Church for a memorial service exactly 1 year after unthinkable tragedy struck this community.
The right thing to do, you don't think of happening in this town, tragedy happened. And
Prayers sent for the 3 Clancy children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, 5 years old, 3 years old, and 8 months old, respectively.
Yeah, I have 3 young children of my own, and it's something that's very real.
January 24th, marking the day these young children were reportedly killed by their mother, Lindsay Clancy, who then attempted to take her own life. The nonprofit With Love from Duxbury hosting the anniversary service and saying in part, "Amidst our collective sadness, let us find solace in the memories we hold dear. Cora's nurturing affection, Dawson's cheerful friendliness, and Callan's effortless joy will forever live on in our hearts. Their love and light continue to guide us with each new day." Over the past year, an attorney representing Clancy arguing the young mother was suffering from postpartum depression,
it's tough raising kids, so you don't know what someone's going through.
a mental health issue that stuck with many in this community as they embrace resilience, spread love, and continue to heal.
Actually an OB nurse myself, and this is just something that hits very close to home. I think it's very important. I hope that they can do more to address it.
The group organizing this event has also been pushing out the message of finding hope in connection. So tonight, just another example of everybody coming together and beginning to, continuing rather, that healing journey here in Duxbury. We're live in Duxbury tonight. I'm Kirsten Glavin, NBC 10 Boston.
Okay, loveys, and let me just find my way. Oh, how do I make it small? Oh no.
This is you.
Can I do that?
You soak every
Oh Lord, she really can't find her way, can she?
You have so much.
This is sad. Okay, I'm going to have to stop sharing this one. So at least with Clancy, we know that she has an upcoming trial scheduled for, all right, Levies, let me remove this. Get rid of that, Kim. Pull this down. Save, oh, for the love of gosh. Okay. She has her next scheduled court date was supposed to be August 25th, and they have pushed that back, I believe, to September. And she has Kevin Reddington. You might know that attorney because that is also Jennifer McCabe's attorney. Stop sharing. And Kevin Reddington is a very well respected attorney. And he went through all of Lindsay's medications. And what was so sad to me was in the most recent hearing they had for her, they were talking about the fact that she ended up going to Belmont. She went to McLean's Hospital for an inpatient psych stay. And she was released like 5 days later. And she was meticulous. Lindsay had like OCD was one of her diagnoses. And she would write down everything. And I just know as a nurse specifically, there is no understanding of how it happened or anything that would ever bring back her 3 beautiful children. But I feel as though her mask was exceptionally high because she didn't want to burden others. She had been like, okay, I have already gone to McLean Hospital, the best hospital in the country for mental health. I've been on all these different medications. She didn't want to feel like a zombie. She felt like a zombie. They had her on Seroquel. They had her on more shit. You guys, it was not okay. And, you know, I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because sometimes it's the ones of us who know better, right? Like, or not know better, because that doesn't, I don't mean it like that, but the ones of us who are educated in like the signs to be nervous about, you would recognize it in somebody else, but you can't recognize it in you. Does that make sense? Or if you do recognize it in you, you're afraid to acknowledge it. And I think that the acknowledging is something that we all just need to say is okay. It is so okay for you not to be okay or have it all together. In a world in which everything is posted online, you see the highlight reels of everyone's life. This shit is hard. Families are not perfect. People are not perfect. I am an example of that. I come to you humble and flawed. And we're all just doing the best that we can. And I just feel like it's really so heartbreaking to me that so many women like just don't feel like it's okay, or you don't want anyone to judge you, or like we're supposed to juggle it all and like fuck your feelings, just keep pushing forward. And it's like you can only do that for so long. You can only pour from an empty cup for so long, loveys. And if nothing else I've learned in like the last year or so, like of, you know, doing this for me or whatever, it's like I just sit here and I say, like, fill your cup. And then your cup would be able to fill the others around you. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, well, God, I've been doing it for as long as I have. Like, I know, I get it. But we get, like, there's so many of us that understand, like, you're not alone. And I think that is where, when you see things on social media, or you think that like, oh my God, everybody, how the fuck is everyone else keeping their shit together? They're not. Newsflash, they're not. Okay? You are not abnormal. You are not abnormal. The standards of what people think that we are supposed to be able to do with, you know, working full time, multiple jobs, put your family first, have all your kids, you know, go to every single sporting event. You're a Girl Scout leader. You are on the PTA. You are supposed to like have a relationship and want to do it with your husband. Ew, you know, like, oh, and then let me go grocery shopping 3 times a week. Fuck off. Gently. Oh, don't make it weird. Now you have ailing parents. And your parents are getting old, and now you have to, take care of them too. Sounds awesome. Like, I can't, babe, there's 24 hours in the day. I cannot do another thing. So just with that, I appreciate you. And I wanted you to know that you are a queen, and that you are the smartest, and that you are the prettiest. And that I get it. I get you. I see you. And you are not a party of one, babe. We're at least a party of 5 of us. There's at least 5 of us. And if we go like what the duck, there's at least 18 ducks that get it. Okay? We can say the quiet part out loud to each other. And that's how we get it better. That's how we make ourselves better. Is by saying like, yeah, I'm fucked right now. I'm in a spot. I'm in a funk. I don't feel good. Oh, I'm sorry. When did it start? 2011, you know? Oh, I've just been teetering on the edge of fucking reason for a minute. But this too will be able to move forward from, right? Like, and just having a community or having a group that you know that it's just not yourself. That is where I feel, is that I've always felt like it was kind of like me, or it was a me problem. And it's not. And I thank you for letting me know that it's not just a me problem. And that my anxiety is just like a rocking chair. It'll keep you busy, but get you nowhere. So let it go, girl. Let it go. Put your hoops on and sniffle away. And you shouldn't have wore freaking any mascara, you doof. Or I should have washed my face before I came online. And then the final thing I wanted to show, if you guys are still interested in hanging out with me for another like 15 minutes, is I just wanted to go through something from Bethesda House, which was Jess Machado, who I want to put this in the description too, is she did a beautiful write-up on the Bethesda House. It is a nonprofit, which a 501c that they have in Massachusetts has been actually taken advantage of for a very long time by specific people, okay? Groups, you can get away with your taxes, and they've done shitty shit. That's a whole different ball of wax. But there are girls that have come to this house and that they, a lot of them have been treated poorly by the owner. And who's the owner? A nurse. Shut up. Shut up. Porter. And this woman who owns this house that is supposed to be for troubled, vulnerable young women has been exploiting vulnerable young women and mothers and encouraging them or telling them that they need to either put their babies up for adoption, kind of neglecting their medical care, which one of them went on to Jess's show, was so brave last weekend to share a story that she was, when she was pregnant, suffered from preeclampsia, which is a potentially life-threatening condition of high blood pressure in a pregnant woman that is life-threatening to baby and mom. And she wasn't allowed to go to receive her prenatal care. Now, this is all government paid for, babes. This is paid for. Maura Healey is giving money to this house. I'm just going to say that, okay? You have a tax exemption. You're not taking mothers, allegedly, to their prenatal appointments. You're forcing a religious doctrine, which, yes, okay, it might be in their website, but if you want to opt out of it or like not be as into it, like if you have to go on Sundays, okay. But, you know, if you don't want to do all of the religious stuff, you should have a right to not have to. And then on top of it, I'm very concerned because some of these young ladies were also saying that they were paying rent. Well, they're paying rent on top of what? Their mass health insurance already paying you a per patient per day like amount of money, because that's what we do, especially if these are dual insured. If you're mass health and Medicare, shut the fuck up. That's illegal. You can't be charging them rent upon you already receiving your reimbursement at a high threshold, like whatever it is per day. And then on top of that, loveys, listen to this. She's touching their bank accounts. She knows what is going in their bank accounts from what they are paid by either if they have SSDI or whatever they're receiving for checks. She's taking that too, because she was only allowing them to have a certain amount in their bank accounts, allegedly. And then here's where drove me out of my mind. Their EBT cards that they were given their specific amount of money for benefits. She was feeding everyone of her staff by the EBT cards of the specific mother who should have just been paying for her and her child. but it also was included in your room and fucking board. So Jess ends up looking into this after the tragic death of KYLEE Montero, an 18-year-old who was pregnant, and she ended up being kicked out of the Bethesda House, and she was unalived by her baby daddy. And she was vulnerable. Why was she there? It was because of the situations that she was living in. And you kicked her out, and she was murdered because of it. And the girls that have gone through that program, they are so strong. Oh my gosh, loveys. You are going to look at them and like their strength and their perseverance and their babies. Like they're like one of them, it opened up 8 years ago, and that was the mother that had the preeclampsia, that she didn't get her, which she should have been monitored so closely, outpatient or inpatient. It really enrages me as a nurse. But her daughter is 8 now, and she's so beautiful. Like, and they don't have shit attitudes. And they're like, you know, we just don't want this to happen to anybody else. And it's like, yes, my God, like shit, you've turned your mess into a mission now. And I want to just be there to support these girls. And I want questions answered. I have questions for Ms. Porter, who owns this home. And the scam of a fucking program that mass taxpayer dollars are granted to per Governor Healy. Wake the fuck up. So let us grab Jess's. I just wanted you to see this, guys, because you're going to be like, whoa, these girls are powerful, powerful women. And they're, although the stories are difficult to listen to, there is so much resilience and there is so much joy and light in their eyes, and that they are telling the story to prevent other girls from having to live through bad experiences. And they believe that the Bethesda House is not of pure intention. My channel, YouTube. I had this all streamed up and I don't know what I've done. Oh, I'm a weird person. Downloads. Here it is. Oh, Jess. She's a lovey. The first girl we're going to see is Lily. She's an angel face. And I'm going to help Jess. She told me that she sent me a message on TikTok. No, not on TikTok, on X. And I'm going to respond to her. And I hope that we're able to work together. And I'm not a journalist, but I would do anything I can to help her and help these women and their kids. Okay, now I'm going to share this. Oh, is she new? Yes. No, she's not. She's done this for a year, you wackadoo. Share it and carrot. Now we are going to do this and scoobity beep bop.
Did you feel any of
Still
that
hello
personally?
to Lily.
Yeah, that was definitely put on my plate while I was there. She was trying to persuade me to adopt Avalon out at one point, and it got to a point where she would have me watch like the videos and everything like that. And I would never, like, it literally.
She's talking right now, Loveys, about she was encouraged to adopt out her daughter.
It made me sick to my stomach to even think about it. Like, I could never. She's trying to like climb on me right now as I speak.
I'm not.
Okay.
Queen, I see you. Thank you for a great show this morning. Thank you for being you. And I look forward to seeing you coming up soon. And I'm here.
Abby, go sit down, honey. Okay, go sit down. I know.
Oh, you can. We can shut your camera off, and you can do a hug.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah.
Just put your link in the show. I mean, in the show. Put your link in the chat, and then I'm gonna put it in my description if you can. Or if my lovies, Miss Jess MB, if you're here, can you please put Jess's show? And lovies, please subscribe to Jess's show. You'll enjoy it. She's a real one.
There was definitely a lot of persuasion to try and get me to adopt Avalon out, to make it seem like I wasn't a good fit for her and I couldn't really take care of her in the ways that like anybody else could. And I'm like, just because I'm young doesn't mean I'm incapable. And that was like that's literally the entire theme of my life. Like, I don't know, to this day, that's still a point that I continue to try to prove to everyone,
one's in the
including
chat.
myself, because life isn't easy no matter what the cards are dealt, but you just got to do what you can with it. And Missy definitely put so much weight on everybody's chest when it came to like adoption. And I remember that one of the girls that was living there was actually like in contact with the girl that adopted her daughter out, and she was always talking a lot of smack about her, not saying really kind things about her. And there is at one point where this girl also was getting into, I don't even know what you would call it, like a situationship with one of Missy's sons too. And that was never brought to Missy's attention. But it's funny because I still have because this girl would want me to take pictures.
Sorry, lovies, I'm trying to eat. This is her. Lily's telling us about. Okay, so Missy is the nurse, right? Her son, and this is weird. So some of these girls were like in situationships with the owner of the places, with the owner of the Bethesda House's son. Huh. That feels fucking gross. Can we not? Maybe your son shouldn't be trying to, I don't know, date women that are here in vulnerable situations. Thanks.
Pictures of the texts that they would have between each other. And it's funny because I never deleted them. So I still have like texts that went back and forth from said girl and Missy's son. But when I was talking to Missy's son, I got kicked out. I'm like, that's interesting.
Let's go back a little bit first because I'm curious about this. How did you find out about Bethesda House, and how did who pointed?
Lovey, I gotta know says, is the Bethesda House nationwide? This is only. There are multiple Bethesda houses in the United States of America. However, this one is one of one. Okay, and there are houses everywhere. Pegasus House, Lawrence. Yeah, used to be a visiting nurse there too. And the shit that goes on, that's what I'm saying, lovies. I've seen the shit with my own eyeballs. This is worse. This is the worst. Had I been in there, had I been a nurse going in, I wouldn't have flew on my watch. I would have reported it. Whatever I saw, whatever the girls told me would have been right up the food chain. However, I think because the owner is a nurse, she didn't need nurses. And if she did have MAP certified people coming in to do medication administration, that's not an actual nurse coming in. She ran everything, I bet.
Pointed you in the direction of going there?
Honestly, the day that I found out about it, me and my mom had gotten into a big fight and she stormed off and I was like, screw it. I was just I always walked. I would walk everywhere. When I'm mad, I'd walk. That was just my thing. So I would take my kid and I put her in the stroller and I went for a walk. And then I was like, you know what, screw it. I went down to the police station, walked to the police station. And I'm like, do you guys have any flyers or resources for any shelters? And the only flyer that was there was one for the Bethesda House. So that's kind of how I found out about them. And I gave them a call and it didn't even take me a week before I got moved in there. And then within 2 weeks, I started figuring my crap out. And she tried to use me as a good face in that place because I just, regardless, no matter where I was, I wanted to just get my crap together. Like, I'm like, I don't, like, I want to graduate high school. There's things I need to do. Like, so she just kind of used that to her advantage to make herself look better in a way too. She was trying to kind of like share my story at one point, and I'm like, that's none of your business. Like, it turned into a situation, and I ended up like getting close with the family too in a way. And they invited me over their house for like Thanksgiving dinner one night, and it was okay, but it was interesting because then I really got to see like the ins and the outs of how they work. And it's funny, like,
that is a question I had too. The question before, Levy's, about who is the adoption agency that they use. I don't know, but what I'm going to say is this. Asking every single one of the girls, and I'm not saying like, yes, I get it. Young women can have a hard time. I'm very thankful for my mother for having my brother when she was 18 years old. Okay. There are plenty of young mothers that have really done incredible things in their lives and wouldn't have changed anything. Okay. And even if you have started off in a vulnerable place and have had a path of, tragedy, or you come from a family that was difficult and you don't have the resources or the guidance, you still can turn that around and have a beautiful life for your children. Don't ever let any fucking buddy tell you that you can't. Okay? And so while you're at your lowest and while you're at your most afraid, a woman is telling you, you really should consider adoption. Really? Were you getting what's called a fucking kickback at all? Because that's what my spidey sense goes up. Why are you trying to adopt out all these kids? And who was the agency you were using? I'd like to know. I have questions.
how they fake their funk, because their son, that I used to be in like a relationship with, hit me up recently. And I went and looked on his social media page, and he doesn't look healthy. That's like the nicest way I can describe that. Like, so, and I'm like, that's kind of, I don't know. I think she's dealing with a lot of trouble in her own family too right now. But like, and then Colby hitting me up was like, wow. Now that I have that, and he was just like the way that he was trying to text me and talk to me, and like he wanted me to like forgive him for things, and he was like the way that he was talking, it was very strange. And I'm like, I wasn't interested. I'm like, no, like I don't want to talk to you. Like, I'm good. I made that very clear. But
I think it's what's eye-opening about a lot of the women that I'm talking to is that everybody was going through obviously a difficult time in life. Many of the women are young moms who are, dealing with extraordinary circumstances. A lot of them are having conflict at home with parents and no support. And they've all left and moved on and are thriving and doing well. But talking about their time at Bethesda House is not a good thing. It brings back a lot of bad memories. And they're in this kind of, and I'm feeling you're in the same way too, that some good things came out of it, and thankful for the place. And it feels weird to not be 100% in support of this home. And you're in this weird position where some really not good things happened there. Lines have been crossed, and some weird leadership and strict rules and things make it so that it's not really a good memory for you. Do you feel that way?
yeah, honestly, I would kind of say that. There was a time where she kind of like would we have the one-on-ones in her office, and she would just try and get us to talk about like what's going on in our lives and stuff like that, like what we're doing, what we're trying to do, XYZ. And like I've always been pretty closed off when it comes to just like, I don't know, talking about like my stuff, my family and everything. It's like, it's nobody's business, where everybody's got their problems. Like, why
everybody
alone? And then it came to a point where she was trying to get me to call DCF on my mom because of, I don't even really know the exact reasoning, what it was. And she put it in a way where she said that if I didn't call them and make a report, that she was going to. And I was like, okay, whatever. If anything's gonna be done, like I'll be the one to do it. Like whatever. And I called them and made like a report, but I didn't even really know what to say. Because I'm like, yeah, my family has their issues, but like I don't know. There's something going on there, I guess. And they didn't even really look into it like that anyway. The case was nothing. So, and I'm like, did she just cause more problems between me and my family doing that?
Encouraging the girls to make reports on their family when like you're already struggling, right? You're already, and all families do have shit, guys. All of it. When you're a teenage girl, I have 2 teenage daughters. Yeah, I am very thankful that my girls talk to me and tell me the big things, but there are times where they're disrespectful as all hell. I am literally like, I'm like, okay, I am not just a taxi and an ATM. And also I don't know who you think you're talking to in that tone, because I am fucking like also struggling on the moons and my cycle. Like, I got a lot of shit happening too. So I'm going to need you to not speak to me like that, because I wouldn't have had an ass to sit on. But, is that causing more strife for her to get what she wants?
More than anything else. And it just created more conflict. And that was just unnecessary. And then she just was like, yeah, now you can just go back there. And I'm like, that's interesting. And interesting how that plays out for KYLEE too, because you're just going to send her to the exact same place that she left from domestic violence. And now look at where she is. And that's that is on their hands, in my like 110% opinion. That is definitely on their hands. That could have all been prevented.
With respect to KYLEE's family and the circumstance surrounding her death, it seems to me that many of the women who are in this group on Facebook that have been talking about this for years are now speaking up a little bit more in light of what had just happened to her. So, in your opinion, you're feeling as if this home contributed in some way to her death?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It could have 110% been avoided.
What do you, is this the first time you've ever spoken about your experience at Bethesda House?
It is, in a way, yes. My mother tried speaking on my behalf on the support group page on Facebook, but I've just been pretty quiet about it, just because it's like, I don't know, I haven't really had much of a reason to talk about it up until now, where it's like, now it's getting to the point where we're sending people back to the abusers that are now killing the woman. So that's like on their hands, and they need to hold themselves accountable, honestly. Like, that's not okay.
We have some other moms that are in here, so I'm going to end with you and bring them on. But how are you doing now? It seems like you're doing well.
I actually am doing really well. She kicked me out, but I still graduated high school. And after I graduated, within 2 months, I went off to basic training for the Army, the National Guard. And I have been pursuing that. I took a year ING, which is like inactive guard. And I'm re-enlisting in October. And I've also just gotten my EMT certification, and I'm about to get my licensure for that as well. So I'll be able to get an EMT job, and I'm going to work my way up through the medical field.
Yes, queen.
So yeah, I'm doing pretty good right now.
Yes, you are.
It's okay.
How's your daughter?
She's fantastic. She is so fantastic. That one, she is hilarious. She's super, super smart, like way too smart for her own good. She'll call anybody out. She's 5 years old and knows more than I do. I swear. I'm like, oh my gosh, you sound like a wise old lady.
You've been here before.
I'm seeing some comments from some of the people that are watching, but I mean, they're thinking exactly what I'm thinking, which is I think you're really unbelievably strong in what you've gone through. I think coming here and being able to tell your story, to highlight your experience there, I think is a real important part of making change. And I'm a little overwhelmed with what you're saying about yourself and how you're doing. And I'm just really proud of you. So I wanted to say thanks for coming on and sharing this, and keep in touch. And let us know how you're doing. But I know that my listeners here are really invested in your story already in just a short amount of time. And I think it's just really selfless that you shared it. So thank you.
Of course. I'm glad that I could share and it actually go to something good, because KYLEE matters, her family matters, and the situation is not going to go down easy, especially for reporters, because God will provide, and God works in mysterious ways, shall they say, right? Well, thou shalt reap what they sow.
Lily, thanks so much for telling your story to us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Can we take Lily off?
Jess got emotional here, and she did like
I
know, girl,
right?
Girl, she did so good. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Jess.
I'm like losing it because, like,
girl,
I know.
It's okay. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
I have 2 girls, and I just can't imagine like them being alone and then that, like, ugh.
She did so good. She did so good. Jess, I was incredible.
That this house.
And now this is, I wanted to just show you Darian, because this is the one with the postpartum, no, I lied. The preeclampsia loveys. It's very important. And I just want her to share so you can hear it.
Recently, it's like, wow, I knew I wasn't crazy or wasn't delusional. I knew she wasn't treating me right. I knew a lot to my mom. My mom also is on housing. Like, she can't, like,
Hold on, I want to find the part.
and I think it worked to her advantage, because that's where she knew where she could kind of like, okay, well, I know what I can do. Now, in my case, I got kicked out. I had a high-risk pregnancy. I did not receive it was prenatal care while I was there. She did not bring me to South Shore Hospital. I never seen a doctor. I've only seen never seen a doctor.
I'm sorry. You had a high-risk pregnancy and you never received prenatal care. You were never taken to a doctor. Continue, please. And thank you, Lovey.
Anytime I had Braxton Hicks, or I had, like, an ear infection or a headache, it was just like, lay down, just, let God take care of it. I mean, at the time I was at the house, I was pregnant with my second child.
Pray away your actual complication of pregnancy. That is a crime. That is criminal neglect, in my opinion.
So my circumstance was a little different. And my child before that came 9 days early. So I never seen a doctor, which to me was kind of bizarre. I've seen an MA a couple of times, but that's basically it. So it was.
An MA is a medical assistant, Loveys, not a nurse practitioner, not an RN, not an LPN. You saw a medical assistant a couple of times.
Kind of like, at that time point, I'm just praying, like, me and my dog, we're going to be okay. I got this. I mean, I'm taking my prenatals. I've never seen a doctor. My grandfather passed away while I was at the house. And at that time, I was part of the wake and the funeral. I asked Missy, when you doing overnights where you're allowed one overnight a month, and it had to be on a Friday night, and you had to be back the following day at 5 p.m. So I told her, I understand the rules, but if you can do an exception, because I have a death in the family and I'm part of the wake and the funeral. I did my paper. My family's from Taunton, so I, got picked up by my mom, and I went to Taunton, and I was part of the wake and the funeral. Now, I never told them where the wake was or where the funeral was. 3 volunteers showed up at the wake. Now, like, I never said anything, but so to me at the time, I was just thinking, they're here to support. I'm just gonna take it with a grain of salt. Come to find out, they were like little spies to kind of make sure that I was there, which obviously I'm there. I'm part of the lineup. So I thought that was kind of strange. Now, later that night, I got a text from Missy saying that she does not know my whereabouts. And I was...
No, Lovey, this is not jail. This is a nonprofit organization called the Bethesda House in Massachusetts, run by a nurse.
Totally confused, because I said where I was going to be, X, Y, and Z. Like, there was no secrets, never has been any secrets. I was very transparent with her, and had the obituary, everything. So I was very confused. Now, prior to that, I go back to the house, and everything's just, you could feel the tension in the house. She pulls me into the basement, and she basically says that, she does not like, my attitude. She does not like the way that that I'm treating another girl, which to me was kind of bizarre. Like, it didn't seem right to me. And she said, well, I think your mother will take you in. At the time, she knew that my mom had a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm like, Listen, I have nowhere to go. Like, I'm 38 weeks pregnant. Like, I don't have anywhere to go. Like, my mom has a 1-bedroom apartment. like, and is on housing. Like, she can't, like, this is why
No.
I'm here. So obviously I'm at the time, I'm, pregnant, scared. Now I'm even more homeless. Like, what am I going to do? And she's like, well, you're just not fit for being in this house. And I'm like, wait, like, this doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, I just came from a wake and a funeral. Like, here's my proof. So I said, weeks prior, you just put on a baby shower for me, because they put on a baby shower for me at her church, which I was not allowed to invite any of my friends or family. I could only invite my mom, and that was it.
Isolation from family and
It was her
friends.
way or her rule. So I was just, I started to cry because I really had nowhere to go. Like, at the time, my children's father, he's locked up. My mom has a one, she can't take me in. Like, my older son's open adoption. Like, I'm in this like system. I'm trying to do right with me and my daughter. So she was like, I said, can I do a grievance? Because I was like, there has to be some type of loophole. And because this is not right. So she said that there's no grieving process. There's nothing that I could do. So I wrote up my own grievance. And before I left, I gave it to her, and we packed up all of my stuff. We packed up in her van, and she drove me to a church, and she dropped me off on the side of the road, and she left. She did not wait to see if I got picked up, did not wait to see if I was still there, nothing. And after that date, there was no communication. So at all. My mom was so upset because she seen her pregnant daughter like on the side of the road at a church, and decided to reach out to the pastor of Missy's church. He blocked my mom. My mom also reached out to Missy, and she blocked her. There was nothing that like we could do, because my mom's like, my daughter's like on the side of the road. Like my mom, she took a picture of me, like with all my stuff. Just, here I am. And it was just unbelievable. And at that time, I'm telling my mom, like, listen, I'm in a cult. Like, this is a cult. And 8 years ago, no one really believes you, because it's like, it sounds far-fetched. And I'm telling my mom, like, no, this lady, she's literally telling us what to wear, how to dress. We had to dress very modest. I mean, obviously I'm a lady, I'm going to dress modest, but it had to be what she wanted us to wear. Had to go to church, had to do everything that she wanted us to do. Had to wear a bra. And, not for nothing, when, you're pregnant or you are breastfeeding, your breasts, they get large, they lot on your back. So it's like, it was almost like control, all the time control. When volunteers came, we had to cook for them. There was a menu that got approved or denied by her, because we had to cook for the volunteers as well as ourselves, which I thought that was kind of strange. All of our food stamps went inside the house. So we weren't allowed to use our food stamp card on anything that, like, if we had any special craving or anything, we weren't allowed to do that. All our food stamps went inside that house. She knew when our food stamps came, there was someone who brought us to the grocery store, and they saved all receipts. Everything was down to the receipt, the paper. So there was no way that you could save $10 or you could have $1 to yourself. She knew what you were buying and when you was buying it. It's so bad because it's like, you know, being one of the first girls at the house and everything happened 8 years ago because my daughter is now 8. It's so crazy how, wow, something drastic happened. And now.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I just went on a rant for how many minutes? Oh, loveys, I'm so sorry. I was saying to that comment to MCAT, I won't do it all over again, but I was saying to her that I get that you're saying that it is I understand that it's one-sided, but Jess had reached out to the owner over 30 times. And as a nurse, I'm going to try to reach out to her. Maybe I'll make it 60 times. Okay. And when we have mothers telling us about literal financial abuse, medical neglect, including this mother who says that we know she was a high-risk pregnancy unless she's, you know, pulling our leg, but she was a high-risk pregnancy and she did not receive prenatal care. That is abuse. You also, in this site, you are being told, I was reading from the site, it says, are you pregnant, parenting a baby under the age of 1, leaving a relationship and have nowhere to go, not getting the family support you need, feeling alone and need support, needing a safe home, frightened by an unplanned pregnancy, or needing access to resources to get back on your feet. And it also states that their core program is life coaching of budgeting, nutrition, and cooking, and in many other areas. Well, that's great. But you provide budgeting because you take rent from them as you're getting paid per their insurance company and you're given grants by the Commonwealth of a 501c. Thank you. Bright courses, including childbirth and parenting classes, but not prenatal care. Assistance with applying for benefits. Is that because you got them all, Miss Porter? Because the benefits in which they applied and received went to your home. Okay. And then work experience at our retail boutique in Hanover so that you can work for free for us too. All of these women have come out the other side. And if you see them, loveys, you will say their stories are impactful and powerful and that they have done better for their children and for themselves. And I can tell you that I can smell a bullshit artist from a mile a fucking way, and I don't see it here. And I understand that, yes, there is another side. But again, Jess Machado has called 30 times, and Miss Porter hasn't answered the phone. And yet all of these brave women have come forward and told what has happened to them. That is where my feeling and my conviction in saying I will tell their story until there is another side and that there is something that tells me this wasn't correct, because I believe it. And I believe these women. And I'm sorry I was an idiot, guys. That was so long. And I did want to say just to Will said, men, educate yourselves on PPD. The ladies are badass and always need our support. Can you stop? Because I've already fucked all of our faces up. I'm going to need to watch The Office tonight and eat ice cream.
Everything's coming to light, and I'm so glad that it's coming to light. I felt, it's horrible that what happened, because I'm a victim of domestic violence, and I'm glad that this house is definitely bringing to light, because this wasn't fair. And when I was saying it 8 years ago, I was no one believed me, and I just.
Oh, so she's been talking about it for 8 years, and she tried to file a grievance, and the owner said, "Yeah, we don't do that here. Sorry, your grievance, not listening."
kind of, I brushed it off because it's like,
Thank you,
at the end of the
Lovey.
day, it's I'm one person. And now that there's many moms and many other, people that were in my situation 5 years ago, 6 years ago, or even most recently, it's like, wow, I knew I wasn't crazy or wasn't delusional. I knew she wasn't treating me right. I knew I was in a cold place. Like, you just know, you have that intuition.
Lovey me more.
Now, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. A couple days later, I went to the local hospital and I had severe preeclampsia.
A medical emergency. Severe preeclampsia is a medical life-threatening emergency. Tell us more, Darian.
I had emergency C-section.
An emergency
and
C-section.
I had 2 blood transfusions and I was rehospitalized.
2 blood transfusions and rehospitalized. Where's my fucking pearls? Five-alarm, clutch, clench, and Kegel, loveys. For all of us as mothers, for any of my medical professionals, this is unfucking believable.
But the blood pressure wasn't regulating because I wasn't getting it was prenatal care when I was pregnant. It's crazy to me that, 8 years ago, walking into the house, I thought I was going to be there for 2 years. I thought, like what she said, I was excited. I was ready to do, what was needed of me. And then I felt like when I started questioning and just asking questions, and I just knew something wasn't right. And it was a lot of control. It's all about money. She knew when your money was coming. She had an envelope and you could not. She knew it was a lot of control. And a lot of the volunteers, there were some really good volunteers and there were some volunteers that were there to just report back to her. And that's what it was. When they came at nighttime and they got served their food, and let's say you're having a conversation and you're telling them, something is dear near to you, they're just gonna go tell Missy. So it's like there was no type of secret. There was no type of secrets. There was no type of feeling comfortable with somebody because you knew they were always gonna report back to her. So it was just very
I wouldn't trust anything over line, music to my soul. I mean, online, I wouldn't buy that. You can absolutely get a panel of your blood drawn and it would have your magnesium level, but I don't think anything OTC or an Amazon product would be good for that, babe.
Not a good environment, not a healthy environment, not an environment that I would ever want to go back to. And I'm just so glad that, that now, there's more moms than just myself that's, screaming like what I've been saying 8 years ago. And I hope that this house does get shut down because it's not right of what Missy's doing and her husband. It's not right at all.
First of all, I really can't believe that your story, as horrible as it is so similar to the other women that I'm meeting and speaking to. So many of the same themes in regards to the controlling, the lack of prenatal care, but also the manipulation, the making you feel a certain way. I mean, I'm overwhelmed and shocked, honestly, hearing your stories. It's very difficult to hear some of these things. You're coming off as being so far removed from that and so strong, so well spoken about this, even though it's such a traumatic situation. I know a lot of people are probably wondering, it seems like we know the answer. How are you doing now? You seem to be doing great.
Yeah, so I'm good. So my daughter that I had there, she's 8.
A momming.
I had 3 more kids. Yeah, so I'm doing good. I had 3 more kids. I have 3 under 3. So I'm busy.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just, my mom was the one that told me about the Facebook group. She was the one that was like, Darren, you have a story to tell. Like you were one of the first ones there. Like you were there for all the changes, and it got worse. I guess after I left, and then a lot of stuff started happening. It was an experience in my life that I knew I wasn't a cult, and I just now I like, when it's like you say to yourself, like, why am I in this environment? I know I'm in this environment, but no one else is believing you. So it's like you're questioning what you're saying. So it's like, no, all those years I really was in an environment that wasn't right for me, healthy.
I love you,
and that was
gentlemen.
cult,
Yes.
And I'm glad that we're speaking up. My stories happened 8 years ago. That was some time, but I think I just seen on their Facebook page that they're having a happy birthday to Bethesda House, that they turned 8, and I'm like, my daughter's 8. Like, so it's just crazy to think that, it just kept going.
I was just going to ask a question because it's not something I've learned through these conversations. How did you find out about Bethesda House?
So, I want to say one of my mom's friends involved in like in a church, and I had called. It was the DTA's office to try to get into shelter. One second. Hey, it's going this way. Okay, I had called. It was the DTA.
Oh no.
Oh, we lost her. I forget. But how incredible. And she ended up telling us that thank you, Jess. I didn't do you dirty. You look very pretty. I love that puffy sleeves. But how incredible to hear that story, Loveys, from Darian and from Lily. And there's a couple of other moms that were absolutely incredible. And if you have a chance, it was week 4 of Jess Machado's show. It was last Sunday's show. It was about the last half of her. She does a 4-hour show. Queen. Couldn't be me. You know me, I'm running and bopping everywhere. I can't sit that long. But she keeps so many people there and has really incredible people that are coming in that need to be heard. And so about the last half of that show was these women coming through and just sharing their stories and also their resilience and their powerful examples of, to me, women who have risen above. And like, I found it to be impactful to me. And I reached out to them on the Facebook group. And if they need anything from me, I would be happy to help them in any way, or Jess for anything that if she wants to do something, I'm here to be of service. And Harsh mom said, I love the Boston zip up you had on Jimmy's stream. Is it this one, babe? If it's this one, I got it from 1987 online. I'm obsessed. Every Friday, it's a Boston woman in business. Oh my God, we're like local. We just support local business. And she drops sweatshirts and like loungewear every Friday. And so you can only get it when she has this as like a drop. So this was like last summer. But I highly recommend it's 1987. It's like 1987.com. And it's like a woman and a local woman. And it's very high quality. I love it. I have a lot of them. Thank you so much. And Kelly, don't even, because I am losing it, says, you have no idea how much you mean to us. Thank you for being brave enough to be raw. It helps more than you know. I love you. And listen, just a duck. All right. What the duck? I am an absolute fucking train wreck. You know this. Hot mess express. I am me. And I thank you for bearing with me, because this has all been learning for all of us. You are my best friends from out of town. You answer my FaceTimes when I call. And like, I don't know how we ended up here, but I will keep showing up if you would like me to. As long as you want me here, I will be here. And we will continue to do what we know is right. And we will stand for something, Loveys, because if nothing else, we will not fall for anything. Okay? And we know what the fuck we believe in, and we always have. And so when we need to lift each other up, that's what we do. And we don't kick anyone when they're down. And we just are trying to build something good and to be the good that we want for our kids or for the future. It's not for, I'm a gossipy, which yes, I'm talking all the shit, but I'm talking all the shit on the things that I truly and firmly have belief in, or believe this was an injustice. And as I always say, it's like an injustice. Well, I didn't make it up. I think it was, I don't know, Lincoln or someone said, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that's why we ride at dawn for Aiden. We ride for Karen Reed. We ride for Sandra Birchmore till the wheels fall the fuck off. We will ride for our KYLEE and make sure that, like, even if they continue to go forward with that one random charge, Tim Bradle's got her back. So the fuck do we. There are lessons to be learned, and we learn them. And we say, that's not right. Because if we do not, and especially for women, babes, like, especially for our women, our counterparts out here, like, it could be you. It could be me. And if we stay silent, then there will be nobody when it comes down to you and me being the ones left. So use the mouths that our mothers gave us. Use the guts that our mothers gave us. Follow our instincts and our intuition and stand for what we believe in always. I love you. I really need to take a Midol. This past Monday night, I had a massive breakdown and panic attack. I just hit a breaking point. I tried too long to pretend I have it all together. Amber Medellin, thank you so much, Lovey. And thank you for sharing with me and sharing with all of your best friends, right? We got you. And you don't have to be perfect. Fuck that. Not fun. Right? And don't try to live up to what you see of everyone else. I'm never going to be skinny or the skinniest girl. I'm never going to be the prettiest girl. I'm never going to be the funniest girl, although I do have a nice personality. Okay? All right? Fuck. You're never going to be what everyone else is. You are you, one of one. And that's the best thing that you could be in this world. There's only one of you. You're a super rare edition, a one of one card, a collectible. And treat yourself like that. Give yourself, I know for myself, I'm so hard on me, and I would never do it to Jimmy, or I would never be that way to my friend Jen Altman. Jen Altman's in the chat. That's fun. I would give her advice and be like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Don't be hard on you. Treat yourself like you're your best friend, babes. Don't be feeding us like the negativity all the time. And release and ask for help. And let it out. That panic attack, the breaking point, you got to fucking, I don't know, kick a trash bag. Yeah, get it out. And then we tuck and roll and move forward. Can't always keep it in. And just south of history, thank you so much, Lovey, said, I know this might be controversial, but I think Lindsay has been punished enough. I think that Lindsay is in Tewksbury State Hospital. She is paralyzed, and the grief and the guilt that Lindsay Clancy will have for the rest of her life is of fate worse than death. And when she, trigger warning, when she tried to elope out and leap out of that window, I think it would have been an easier option out for her than for what she has to live with now. And whatever it is that Kevin Reddington has to put forth as his defense, he will go with a postpartum psychosis, not depression. Because it is transient, as Tim Bradle said, she is clear now. And the reality of what she did, wouldn't want to be in that brain. And Tamster says, thank you. World crazy shed down on me this week, and I needed this. Oh, well, I'm here, babe. I'm always here. And we knew that there are Bethesda houses, but we are not, it's only that one run by Ms. Porter. And Sleepless Sleuth says, as a mom, I believe many of us strive to be a mountain of strength, an ocean of love, a master of resilience. Many times we are and do, and at times we need assistance, and we should never feel shame asking for help. That's a beautiful way to sum it up. And I might have just been talking for 2 hours and 5 minutes, and that's what I was trying to say. Sleepless Sleuth, you are a writer, okay? That is That's it. We can do it all until we cannot. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for being here, babe. And thank you, Alyssa Jett, for becoming a new member consensually at my house. Priscilla Thompson, thank you so much for being a consensual member here for one night. And you're so glad this is coming to light. Me too. I thank Jess Machado for that and for bringing it to our attention and for the coverage of the KYLEE Montero of her death, and the investigation into Bethesda House is very important. And I'm muted. And thank you for, oh my babes, you sent me K. Oh my gosh, so embarrassing. You're muted, Kimberly. Okay. 20th Century Fox says we are at a park. We are at the park where she was talking about having to give up her food stamps. Oh my gosh. Oh, do you see her? Is she there? I'm still, oh my gosh. Oh, you're muted. Oh, how long did this go on? Oh, babes, thank you. I love you. Good way to bring in the super chats, though. Thank you. The muted. Great. That was a great rant. Zach, you son of a gun. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Okay, listen. Oh my God, I'm panicking. I always do this. And we have Mr. Betterow. Mr. Betterow is coming over for Sunday service tomorrow, but he'll be here. See, here's the thing. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I go to the moon, lovey. So if anyone was calling me and saying, you actual, dumb slut, you're muted. You're on the computer. You're in the computer and you are not heard right now. I didn't get it. I didn't get the message. And I just kept talking. Thanks, Zach. Thank you for not mentioning your prostate this time. I am muted. Oh, thank you. Oh, love you. Okay. Mad Mom says, thinking about going back to school for my BSN. Is it worth it? I'm 46-year-old and it might be my midlife crisis. Yes. Do it. Hi. Oh, hi. It's your local neighborhood nurse, Kim. Yup. Do it. Do it. You can do it. You're 46. You're perfect. Do you know, did I tell you the story about so I didn't do a traditional pathway to my RN. I was an LPN first. As my dad used to refer to, Mickey used to call me a little pretty nurse. Oh. So I was 20. I got my LPN. And I was like, oh, I don't really need to go back for my RN, but I did. And I had two sisters. They were in my school and they were in their late 60s, 63. No, not late 60s, early 60s, 63 and 65, 2 years apart. And they graduated. Oh, we were doing a bridge program, like, whatever, because we had done it within 5 years. So we were able to go to a school, but it was a great program. And I think you can do anything. And I support you. And sometimes sometimes, babes, I say to myself, as soon as the girls go to college, would I go back to try to be a lawyer? I don't know. Could I do? No. You don't need to, no. But maybe. Mr. Betterow. I don't know. Okay, stop it, Kim. And then Anna Molly says, I'm a therapist working with vulnerable populations. Guys, this is not isolated. It's everywhere. And we need to do everything we can. You are absolutely correct, Anna Molly. I know that. Like I said, I have seen this, not to that extent, in other houses that are across the Commonwealth, but I also know that it happens in other states. So when there are situations or when there are people that are trying to come forward, like Darian was saying, she goes, hey, I tried to talk about this shit 8 years ago and everyone told me to go pound sand. So we look, we keep our eyes open and we fucking listen. We listen when people tell us what is happening. The least you can do, okay, you investigated. If there's nothing there, great. You're doing your job. by ensuring that there is safety for vulnerable populations. My heart is breaking, man, seeing like people with substance use disorder or seeing people with mental health issues or seeing moms with postpartum depression or psychosis being like lost in the cracks and being left behind. And it's just like, we have to care about other people. And like, there's so much money that the government is giving, and it's like, give it to where it needs to be so that we can have impacts and make this a better place, not a worse one, in my opinion. So yes, it is everywhere and it is not isolated. Thank you so much, Lovey. And Live, Laugh, Love says the other side of that story will be, we did nothing wrong. Problem solved. They need some nice silver bracelets. Clink, clink. Time for undercover mother. I volunteer. Let them F around and find out. Oh. Text me. Like, I totally agree. And I mean, like, maybe there should be like a Chris Hansen that comes with a pizza and says, oh, I got it from your fucking EBT card that you took from Sally Sunshine, one of your residents. Rude. Stop it. Cut the shit. And she knows exactly what she's doing. It disgusts me. I have a little bit extra oomph in my upsetness. Like my rage percolated over a little much because it's a nurse. Ew. And I know that there are bad, listen, there's bad everythings. But ew, you opened this to be a sanctuary and a safe haven. Could you imagine? I would live to do that. Megan's house opened up in, well, whatever, close to me. And when that opened up, I was so involved. I do NAMI walks in May. Like, I am so heavily invested in our mental health population, and just, I never thought I wanted to do it. I always thought I'd be like a maternity nurse, but actually put me in mental health and wounds, and that is actually my jam. But those are the things that you feel more outrage because there are so many of us that would have done a great job with that. And like, you see that some people just want to make a quick buck and want to exploit and abuse others. Ugh. And Amore of Alessi says, Nurse Kim, we love you and care what you have to say. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And Joey Kane gifting out 1 Nurse Kim membership, like we are at the Centerfolds in Worcester tonight. And then he hits me with another one because I am shaking my moneymaker like somebody's about to pay me. Thank you, loveys. And Leah Baker, we want you here. I want you here too. Thank you for being with me, babe. You've been here since the beginning. And Music to My Soul said, this encouragement is everything. Thanks, Kim. You got it, babe. You got it, guys. Listen, if anybody, it's me. I'm always going to be with you. You can't get rid of me that easy. And we have the doctor is on at 9:00 tonight. And Mr. Betterow is on with me for Sunday service at 9 a.m. Sunday, Eastern Standard Time. If I say Eastern Standard Time once again, there is somebody on Twitter that gets very mad at me because it's not standard time or some shit. Sorry. I say it Eastern Time. ET, no standard. I don't know what the difference is, but it gives her a conniption every time. So if you are them, I apologize, Lovey. Other than that, eat some fruit. I got a Pellegrino because I'm trying to cut down. I had like I was thinking, oh, bitch, are you drinking too much Diet Coke? Yeah, I am. Do I drink a Diet Coke in the morning if I don't have a tea? Yup. But I got the mini cans. Look at this little bitch. Look at this little bitch. All right. I said, oh, what is she going to do? Is she going to just drink one of these? No. I'll drink 3 of them. Okay. Get a life. All right, babes. I love you so much. Be good. I hope I see you in the morning if you're available for Sunday service. Okay. Bye.
All right, great job on the news.
Thank you.
We will, Courtney and I will share what happened when we went to dinner last night, Sunday dinner, coming up. And as